it. If Marco Reus does it,
bro,
I might cry too.
But then if he doesn't, he's so
I would
deep if he
actually love
misses.
it, man.
Yeah.
Nah, you don't
Can't take a pen. Go on, PB, what do you think? Hello everyone, welcome back to the final whistle. Before we even get into today's video, be sure to give this video a like and take part in the video. Make sure that you are commenting as well. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to the channel and let's get into it. So today, lads, I thought we'll discuss the Champions League final.
Okay.
The biggest club competition in the world. Am I right?
No, you're right.
I am right? And the great final is happening, and it's happening in Wembley, which I like. I like the fact that the greatest final in football is in London.
Yeah, it's a bit sad that, no English clubs are there.
Yeah, and I'm surprised. I was actually thinking that fifth place is going to go to a Premier League team. I thought, we'll do well.
To be fair,
Would have done good for us anyways.
Huh?
It wouldn't been good. It wouldn't have been good for Man United anyways, bro. We're finishing 8th, bro.
No, I'm talking about Chelsea, bro. Like they could have potentially, maybe gone Europa.
Nah.
We still might end up there,
know,
but
Yeah. But either way, you're right. There's no English teams in it. Instead, we have Real Madrid and we have Borussia Dortmund. I mean, Real Madrid, I think, are one of the teams that people maybe would have predicted will get to the final.
Yeah.
But for Dortmund to get to the final, I think it's a remarkable achievement.
Can we just have a round of applause for Dortmund?
Yeah, fair.
Because I can't lie, everyone
Fair.
doubted them. Everyone doubted them, but hey, listen, man, Jadon Sancho carried that.
I knew he was
Dortmund
gonna
team
bring it. I knew he was
straight
gonna
to the
bring it to
final.
him.
I'm not even gonna
I
entertain
love
this
it, man.
one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go on about Sancho, but I will say I doubt he's the one that really carried the team, innit?
Of course not, of course
But
not, of course
Fairs, you got your agenda, that's fine. But let's actually start with Dortmund, though, because as you said, people have doubted them. People have doubted them the whole season. I mean, part of that is due to their league form, I think, finishing in 5th place. When Bayern haven't had a great season either, it's not good from them.
Yeah.
However, for them to get past these teams and find their way in to the Champions League final, it's a remarkable achievement, as I've already said.
100%.
But now they are the underdogs.
100%.
100%, yeah.
Right? They are the underdogs in this final. How do you think that could affect them? PB, I'll start with you. How do you think that could affect them going into this final?
Definitely. I think you can look at it from a couple angles, couple perspectives. Like, them being the underdogs, I think everybody knows that everybody goes into the game expecting Real Madrid to win that game. So the expectation shouldn't be too high. You're going to have pressure because it's probably the biggest game of some of those players' lives, that they're ever going to play. But at the same time, they just go into it cool, calm, collected and stick to the game plan. I feel like that's the best way that they'll be able to potentially frustrate and get a result out of Real Madrid. I think another angle where you can look at it is that, since 2012, 2013, they haven't reached the UCL final, and it's almost a fairy tale ending yet again for somebody else in Marco Reus. In his final season
100%.
Really
at Dortmund. Realistically, do I think they'll do it? I'm being honest, no. But can they? Yeah, you've always got a chance. Because
100%.
if I don't want to, always take you back to Chelsea, but if you look at Chelsea against City in that final a couple of years ago, no one expected us to win.
Yeah.
I remember. You man didn't. 1,000,000%. I was tweeting, yeah, we're winning the champs. No, it's cool anyway. We're gonna win the champs. Trust me, we're gonna win the champs. You're saying you're delusional. This, that, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But it's possible.
100%.
On one night in one game, you never know what can happen.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
So Max, what do you think? How do Dortmund approach this game then? If this is going to be that one night, anything can happen. How does that happen?
I think with Dortmund, you guys are kind of little boy in them. You need to remember their role. Like literally, this is their role to the final. Yeah. So in their group stages, they had PSG, AC Milan, Newcastle, and PSV. Which I remember at the beginning of the season, everyone was saying how that is the group of death, or a very hard group, because Newcastle were getting good, AC Milan was good, PSG were one of the favourites for the Champions League, and then Borussia Dortmund was there. And then past that, round of 16, they played Atletico, then they played PSG again. You know what I mean? So, and I think in those 4 games, they lost once to PSG, and 'cause effectively they played PSG 4 times, home and away in the group stages, and then home and away in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
And they only lost 1 game.
But you need to look
know
at
what I mean?
what was happening in that group stage, though. They could have easily they were,
Exactly. I think it went down to the last day in
Yeah.
terms of
Yeah.
who actually ended up third, who ended up first. It was quite
Yeah, but
tight.
people counted them out regardless, and then people thought
in
that
group
PSG
of-
was gonna.
in that group of death. Realistically, people thought it would either be I thought it would be AC Milan or Newcastle to come out.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, and it ended up
Yeah.
being those two. Anyway.
I don't know why.
It was very
I don't know
close,
why
though.
people thought Newcastle.
Newcastle
honestly.
were actually done quite dirty in terms of some of the VAR decisions. So
Yeah, true.
I feel like they've ridden their luck, but that's what you
Yeah,
have
but
to
with
do.
with that being said, like how they approach the game, just the way they've been approaching all their Champions League games, cool, calm, and collective, and play the football that they've been playing all season. Now in their league, they haven't done the greatest. I think won 17 and I think lost 6 or something like that. And it's like they've played well, but as you said, 5th place is not the greatest they could have done, especially with Bayern Munich not playing as well as they did. But I guess that's testament to how competitive nowadays the Bundesliga is. But yeah, I just say they approach the game like how they have been. It's a one-off game, and hopefully they can just catch Real Madrid out on the sly and try and avoid that Ancelotti eyebrow raise. But we'll see, man.
Do you know what? I think Dortmund can do it. You know, do you know there's so many different. There's a lot of storylines with this final, yeah. And you know me, I'm a fan of storylines. So for Marco Reus, you said it yourself, he hasn't been back in a Champions League final since 2012-13,
Yeah.
which was in London. Again,
Oh,
they're back in
wow,
London,
storylines,
Dortmund. Do
man.
you know what I mean? Now it's Jadon Sancho on his redemption tour. He's back again. Can he? It'll be so funny if it's like
not
all
too far
because
from Kennington.
bro.
It started.
Exactly where it started. You know what I'm saying? He can.
Well, I guarantee you, if they win, he's gonna post that. I guarantee you,
100.
watch
I
with
would
the
as well.
trophy next to him
What?
instead of the weed.
It has to be, man. Nah, it is. And again, Dortmund, sorry, Real Madrid. Can they win another one? Can Jude? But either way, an Englishman is going to get his hands on the Champions League this season. Jude Bellingham, can he, already add to a list of players such as Bale won it on home country. Ronaldo did it as well in Lisbon. Can Jude Bellingham do it in England? Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of different stuff, but I think one thing we have to do is definitely give credit to Milan Terzic and what he's done with this Dortmund team. I feel like, again, a lot of people did underestimate them. I think rightfully so, to be honest with you, because again, Atletico, then PSG, and then who did they beat last round again? I can't remember.
They just beat PSG.
Oh, they just beat PSG last round. Sorry, yeah.
And they play
PSG
Atletico
last
before
round.
that, yeah.
And it's crazy because
Because when we looked at the seedings, bro, I was saying
Exactly.
down the PSG easy route to the final. Mbappe, I thought that was the storyline we was gonna see.
exactly. So who knows?
Yeah.
Might be
But
Sanchez.
then the problem is, it's their history. Do you get what I'm saying? When you look at the heritage of the club, this is not a Champions League winning team. And they're coming up against a Real Madrid who have won the Champions League 14 times.
To be fair, they have won it
And
before,
a lot of
though.
the players who won the Champions League with them last in 2022 are still there. And I mean the likes of Reus and Modric and a few others. So how do you think that has an impact on the final then?
Yeah, it definitely has a big impact because when I was looking at who my key players are going to be in that final, I think, Nacho's and the Nacho and Rudiger centre-back partnership is going to be a very important one.
100%.
People forgetting that Rudiger is a Champions League winner of another club, by the way, and then look at how many times Nacho, most of these guys have won it 5-6 times at Rome.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So,
It's literal heritage.
exactly. So, but then from an attacking perspective, Vinny and Jude,
Crazy, man.
I feel like
No, don't do that, man.
No, are we gonna? Because no, let's actually be honest. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. Jude Bellingham has been great this season, but I feel like since February he hasn't really been the same. Whether or not he's playing with a knock or whatever, I don't know. But in the Champions League, I don't think he's been the one that has been said. It's mostly been Vinny Jr., Cruz, and Rodrigo.
But that tells you the quality in the team. They don't only have to rely on Jude Bellingham, but he's actually still their top goal scorer as of right now.
Yeah, because he was on a stupid. What they need to do is drug test him. That's what they need to do. Because that August to December run was insane.
But I think what Jude has shown is not just that he can score goals and get assists, but he can actually control the game and control the
exactly
midfield.
his temperament in that game will definitely be appreciated in my opinion.
I don't think he will have the role of controlling the midfield as much as, like, for example, what they've been doing Real Madrid this season is Cruz and Tchouaméni starting the game. 70th minute they bring on Camavinga and Modric, which is fantastic because again it's a testament to Ancelotti's expertise and game management as well. But I feel like in this tie, I think it's going to be you know, the key players, obviously you said Vinny, and then you said Jude. I think it's going to be Vinny. It's going to be Vinny, Rodrigo, Sancho, and Brandt. The reason I say Brandt is because he's in really inspired form, and he's one of those players that is able to pick up a lot of different positions in that attacking third. You know, come deep, get the ball, pull the strings, and then allow someone like Sabitzer to, you know, go a bit further up and then come in later around the box.
But do you think there's that many goals in that Dortmund side? Because their strikers full Krug, right?
Krug, yeah.
I mean, you know, he's looked impressive.
He
has
a
looked
good
impressive.
striker.
Link up play as well looks very good from what I've seen from what I've actually seen of him. You know, we mainly watch them on the Champions League stage, which is the biggest stage, like you said, for players to be. But you know, does that match up with Vinny and Rodrigo?
I reckon Dortmund's strong side is not actually on Sancho's side, as you mentioned, not up against Mendy. I think Dortmund on the left-hand side, Adeyemi, Matson in left-back.
That's true.
Up against Carvajal, who we know likes to get forward. I think that's where Dortmund can get some luck on the counter-attack. They don't have anything to lose. As I said, they're going up against a team who has been there, done it several times, more than anyone else.
Yeah.
And the pressure is on Real Madrid to win.
Yeah.
So if Dortmund just go there, sit back, stay strong at the back, Hummels, be a leader at the back there, and then hit them on the break, especially from that left-hand side. I think that's the way they can get some joy.
Yeah.
You know what? It's great that you mentioned Hummels because I said this last month or so. I think I tweeted it. Hummels and Schlotterbeck this season in the Champions League have been one of the best centre-halves, and people are saying, oh, Hummels, you're saying something because of Bundesliga hype. Look what did you see the game against PSG, the way he locked those two in the fence have been in inspired form. Schlotterbeck, rising prospect. Hummels, been there, done that in terms of Bundesliga. He's done it with Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
It's a thing where Dortmund have been underestimated, but again, this game it is a one-off. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
I personally think it's going to go penalties. You know.
Is it? I was just about to say, what is your prediction actually? So you think it's going to go penalties? What will be the scorelines to get to penalties?
I think it's going to be 2-2 to go penalties. I think there's going to be goals in every single half. So I think it's going to be someone's going to take the lead in the first half, or maybe even not. Then it's going to be 1-1 full time. Extra time's going to kick in. And then it's going to be another goal, penalties. And then, hopefully Marco Reus can do it. If Marco Reus does it,
Bro,
I might cry a tear, bro.
But then if
damn.
he doesn't, it's so deep.
I would
if
actually
he
love
misses.
it, man.
Yeah.
Nah,
Can't take a pen. Go on, PB, what do you think will happen?
think, you know, as lovely as that sounds, I feel like it's a bit optimistic. I feel like it's going to probably be a tentative game, take a little while for Real Madrid to break down, you know, Dortmund. I feel like they are going to be applying pressure on Hummels. He might be able to absorb it and, you know, do well. But in the end, I feel like within the 90 minutes, they'll break them down. So I'm going 1-0. 1-0 Real Madrid.
No, I think similar. I think it was going to be a very close game. And I think it's actually going to go extra time. I think it's going to be 1-1. I think Real Madrid will do that thing where they score like in the 70th, 80th minute and get like just ruin Dortmund's dreams. But I think in the what's it called, extra time, I actually think Dortmund might just steal it, just nick it somehow, some fluky pen somehow, and I think it's just going to be a fairy tale ending for Marco Reus. I think it's going to be 2-1 in the extra time to Dortmund.
Wow.
What do you think, man?
Yeah, 4 very different predictions because I'm going 3-0 to Real Madrid.
Really?
Yeah, I just think the quality in their team and the experience, the know-how, it's just way too much for Dortmund. So I see that happening. It will still be good for Dortmund, you know, the fact that they got to the final. Bellingham gets his first trophy, and it's in England as well.
Quick question.
Go for it.
I know this is like kind of off topic, but if he scores in this final and Real Madrid win the Champions League, Vinny Jr. Ballon d'Or shouts, they're getting quite strong.
I think there's shouts already for it.
Yeah,
I think he's the best player in the world.
I mean, if we're being realistic, I feel like the people who are up for it is Vinny, Bellingham, Kane, and Mbappe. Those are the 4 for me.
Oh,
Who was
maybe
close
not.
in the
I don't know
Ballon d'Or?
about Mbappe,
Was
but
Jude close in the Ballon d'Or this year than Vinny?
I think
Jude
I think Jude was a bit
he is,
closer.
yeah, I
Jude
think he
was,
was.
yeah.
So then why not Jude on that? Because Jude is currently their top goal scorer. Although Vinny's been way better in the Champions League campaign. That's like, you know what I mean? We know that. But in terms of the full season for Real Madrid and in the world what we've seen, Jude Bellingham has been the better player for me.
I mean, what do we have this summer? We have Copa America this summer.
Yeah,
and
Copa
Euros.
America and Euros.
So
Yeah.
we'll
So that
see.
plays a massive
Yeah,
role.
we'll find out. But anyway, let us know what you think will happen in the Champions League final. Will Bellingham win it on home turf, or will Marco Reus win the Champions League in his final season playing for Borussia Dortmund? Let us know. As always, like the video, leave a comment, subscribe. Share it everywhere. Follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, and as always, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Peace.